Hello, and welcome to this late morning taste challenge. I have two 40% alcohol bourbon whiskeys. Neither one are well known, but I do see them around. They were both purchased in Louisiana. This is G&W Gooderham and Worts Private Stock from Selected Reserves Kentucky Sour Mash Straight Whiskey, aged 3 years, and it is bottled in New Jersey by Laird Company. All right. This is a liter bottle, and I found it for $8. It's a true story at Elio's Wine Warehouse right off of United States Highway 90 in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is Jesse James. Good morning to you, Alex. Jesse James, the original America's Outlaw bourbon whiskey. For some reason, it doesn't say straight bourbon. That's probably because the bourbon's coming from different states. It has to all be from the same state if it's a straight bourbon. It says tavern strength. Tavern strength. Okay, first taste of freedom, 80 proof, aged 2 years. Now, the website, when I show you, it's going to say aged 3 years. But these bottles that we get in Louisiana are aged 2 years. Don't know why they have a difference there. Bottled by Jesse James Distilling Company, Mira Loma, California. There's a bottling company in Mira Loma, California. I can't remember the name of it, but they do a lot of independent bottling for people, and they'll just put their name on it, but that's not Jesse James. This is a liter bottle also, and I got this for $7.99, so a 1 penny difference. And I bought this at Savannah Discount on Louisiana Highway 45, right? Highway 45, North Jefferson Parish, Orleans Parish, and $8 and $7.99, so a penny difference. No more pennies, right? So, but anyway, 3-year age, 2-year age, 80 proof, 80 proof. Sour mash, doesn't claim to be sour mash, so probably won't make much difference. Clear bottle, clear bottle. I've seen this at Total Wine and More, but it was like $17.99, and that was for a 750 milliliter. It wasn't $7.99 for a liter. I don't recall seeing this one anywhere else, G&W, but they might have it at Star, and I just already had it, so I didn't pay much attention to it, you see, since I've already got it. Well, we do know one thing. They don't have any flavoring or coloring added because with bourbon, it's illegal to add flavoring or coloring to it. So what you're getting is what you get. Mostly corn, but you can get some rye whiskey, malted barley whiskey, even sometimes wheat whiskey. In fact, if you read your regulations for bourbon, 51% has to be corn, but the other 49% can be any grains, doesn't matter. I mean, there's traditions that people use certain ones, but there's literally no requirement on the 49% end. So you could just be creative, make it 49% rye, 49% wheat. Could be, 29% rye and 28% wheat, or however you want to configure it. That's fine. It can be 49% unaged grain distillate. Doesn't even have to be aged, but it would change the class from bourbon to blended bourbon. Still a type of bourbon, but it's called blended bourbon. Okay, these are not blended bourbons, by the way. Although I do have one coming into play in this bourbon taste challenge because blended bourbon is a subcategory, but it's still bourbon. Okay, good morning, Ron. Cheers. Private stock, correct. Hey, Jay, I wouldn't mind having a bourbon right now, as cold as it is here in Atlanta area. whiskey glass, whiskey glass, says Jean-Pierre. Alex says, Mr. Pierre. All right, Jean, I think you'd like both of these and you'd love the price, right? So let's see, $15.99 for both together. Total price, I'll repeat that, $15.99 total plus tax. Now, that's 2 liters. Repeat, 2 liters. Amazing? Yes. Thundering Thursday or Fandango Friday? We're doing Fandango Friday because we were supposed to do Thursday, but a schedule change occurred, and so I'm able to do Fandango Friday. Yes, able to do that. I'm going to put those alerts on Beer Talk. And so I don't like to have schedule changes, but then sometimes I can't control it. Do the best I can. And I'll push back the Carnival Mardi Gras beers to next Wednesday, simply to give people time to find a Mardi Gras Carnival beer. I've got 2 in the fridge right now. Carnival Cake and Mardi Gras Pilsner. Carnival Cake and Mardi Gras Pilsner, both of which were bought in my town, and I only have 29,000 people in my town. 29,000. New Orleans is over, about 400,000. Well, New Orleans, if you look at the metro area, is 1 million people. So in a city of 1 million people, talking about New Orleans, Metairie, Arabi, Chalmette, Gretna, Terrytown, Marrero, and Westwego, and Bridge City. You know, I'm talking about the whole, like some people say, older people say, the whole shebang. I don't know what that word means, the whole shebang. I guess it means, it's probably some Irish thing, the whole layout. So I'm sure in a town of 1 million people, you'd be able to find a metro area of 1 million people, you'll find some Carnival beers, especially when it's the capital of Mardi Gras Carnival. Now, the Mississippi Gulf Coast be a little more of a challenge, but not impossible. And Alabama, Mobile, you know, you'll find probably a Vita Mardi Gras Bock, and they probably have some Alabama companies making probably some Mobile craft breweries making Carnival beer. Jean-Pierre might know more about that. This time of year. Now, if you live outside of this area, I don't know what's available in Texas. I don't know what's available in Georgia. I don't know what's available in Florida or Tennessee. Most likely, not much. And outside of that circle, that cone of probability, you probably got nothing. You know, there's probably nothing available. But I could be wrong. I might have somebody type in from Chicago and say, what are you talking about? We get all kind of Carnival beers from Louisiana shipped up here. I'd be glad to hear that. I don't think that's the case. All right. The original Mardi Gras city is Mobile, Alabama, says Jean. Jean always brings that up. He has a tendency to always push that in my face, that the original Mardi Gras in the United States was held in Mobile, Alabama, which is actually true. But it's probably really St. Augustine, Florida, where they had Carnival because it was a Spanish territory. But I don't know what they call Mardi Gras in Spanish. It's probably a name for it. Because they have that big celebration also. In Germany also. There's different names for it. For Fat Tuesday, you know, whatever their pronunciation, their language is. Jean-Pierre says, let the good times roll. And he's got like a parade of icons, emojis. Looks like a Mardi Gras float. Okay, so let's show you the websites if y'all are not, some people are just listening, I know that, but some can see it. So let's look at the sites. G&W Private Stock Bourbon. That's what they show you. A photograph that they probably took at their distillery, and that's it. It's bottled in New Jersey. We know it's made in Kentucky. And we know it came out in 1930. And we know the original company, the parent company, G&W, went out of business, but some people had bought the rights to the names and recipes, okay? Gooderham and Wirtz has been out of business for like, I don't know. I think the distillery, they say, closed in like 1990, sometime in the 1990s, 92, 93s. They said, I think they said it's a mall now. G&W but it's probably not a mall anymore because these malls are all going out of business. Private Stock Bourbon, 86 proof, 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. Could that be the mash bill for the one above? Probably is. It's just that the one above is watered down to 80 proof, and it's not aged but 3 years instead of 5. That would make sense. Okay, now we jump over to Jesse James. Obviously, they distribute to Louisiana since I bought it. There's a new release called Tennessee Outlaw. Never seen it. But then on the other hand, there's a honey flavored whiskey, a spiced whiskey, cinnamon with spirits. So you see, they all do the same type of thing. Cinnamon, that's their version of what. Spiced, common thing. Now they have America's Outlaw Tennessee Whiskey Barrel. You won't be finding that for $7.99. And then the one I'm drinking today. I'm sorry, drinking. I wouldn't drink in the morning. Tasting. I mean, I would drink beer in the morning, but get away from that. Okay, the original Jesse James bourbon whiskey made in the spirit of America's true outlaw. Okay, but they're following the law. Old time charcoal mellowed. Not an unusual process. A lot of whiskey is dripped through charcoal. Sometimes before they barrel it, sometimes after they barrel it. Depends on the company, how they want to do it. That gets the impurities out of it. Aged in oak cask, a minimum of 36 months. But not my bottle, and every bottle I ever see in Louisiana, and I see it around. Every time I see it, I check the bottle. It said 2 years. Incredibly smooth, full bourbon character, the outlaw in you. Oh, yeah. Okay. And if you get on their website, you can buy apparel. There's a store locator, which is probably accurate. Join the rebellion. You can join their social media stuff. Well, it's getting sunny out there. I see the sun down on me. I feel the heat of love's flame down on me. All right, so there's the oh, you can buy. Nice looking little outfit there. And there you go. The cars. No. Ron, what is your opinion of the muffalata sandwich? My opinion, Joe Hill, is that I like it, but it's very heavy, and I only eat like a quarter of one for another 6 months. So much salami, so much olive salad on it. It'll turn your stomach after a while. So much brine and grease, greasy. It gets to your stomach. It'll work your nerves, But I like it. It's a classic sandwich. I prefer them in the oven, where they like them cold, but it's up to you, however you like to do it. So, who will win? G&W, Gordon and Wirtz from Laird Company these days, or Jesse James, America's Outlaw Bourbon from Jesse James Dupree? Jesse James Dupree. And away we go. As far as appearance, they're both kind of like copper colored, so that won't matter. But remember, they don't have coloring or flavoring added. Can't. It's against the law. That's the law. Yeah, it smells like corn kernels, like popcorn, but the kernels, after they come out the popper, like they kind of, which I imagine is kind of reflecting the charcoal, the charred oak. Burley Sullivan says, you, and I say cheers back to you. On this sunny day, it's so bright, it's so dry. The weather's so crisp. The sky is so blue and windy. It is a windy day. And it's currently, and I was walking early this morning when it was 28 degrees, and I was so cold. Oh, so very cold. But luckily I only had to go 1.5 miles, and I got inside very quickly. Oh yeah, it smells nice. Smells like, well, you guessed it, bourbon. I mean, people make a big production out of bourbon. Don't even think about that. That's like their religion, but I don't know. I haven't bought I haven't bought into the program yet. You know what I mean? I try them. I like them, and I enjoy tasting them. But I'm not part of the program. You know what the program is. And some people are so into the program, they don't even drink the bourbon. I mean, who ever heard of drinking it? They just save it and they trade it. That's into the program. You know, you say, oh, like those craft beer people from years ago, they wouldn't even drink the beer. They would just collect it, save it, trade it. Yeah, and let it go, let it get old and go stale. Like I tried to tell my friend, I was like, you got a beer museum, but it's all going stale. It's not going to be any good. He told me I was wrong. I said, okay. Then we tried some of them. I said, well, it's okay if you like mud. And he had to admit, yeah, he admitted it's not really that good. I said, right, beer is made to drink fresh. Okay? Fresh. Fresh is best. Now, bourbon, rum, brandy, gin, tequila, mezcal, you could save those because they're not going to go bad. They're 40% alcohol or higher. But beer is a perishable. It's not going to last. But it's your business. Buy what you want. Save it. You can save it for 20 years if you like, but I can't see the benefit. I don't see the benefit. There is no benefit, in my opinion, and I'm unanimous in that. All right, taste time. Cheers. Well, like corn. Oh man, oh man. I mean, really, honestly, all kidding aside, as a comic, I have to admit it tastes like corn. Fermented and distilled corn. What about rye? Maybe. Yeah, a little bit. Rye spice, a little mint. Yeah, it's there. Okay, retraction, insertion. I got it. Edit, cut, paste. I got it. A little mint. What about malted barley bread? I don't know about that. I don't taste that. Wheat, nah. Very similar. It's got a little minty rye note also. Bourbon to me tastes like sugar water. Somebody told me he'd rather drink scotch because it's not as sweet. It's drier. I agree that scotch is drier, but it does still have a lot of sugar water flavor to it. To me, any whiskey to me tastes like sugar water. This is me speaking. I can't speak for others, nor would I speak for others unless someone asked me, could you speak for me? I would say, depending on the situation, yes. Hey, cheers, says Alex. Burley, Sullivan, you, yeah, okay, they're talking back to each other. All right. Medium body, dry finish. You say, I've heard that 1,000 times on this channel. Why is that? It's probably because whiskey tends to have a medium body and a dry finish. I mean, I'm not being sarcastic or flip, just that's kind of like their character. Okay. Some of them will linger on with a drawn out flavor. I don't really find that to be the case. That's not really, no. Okay, over here. Mm. Man, I tell you what, these both have a strong minty note, and that's got to be a high rye. They must be high rye bourbons. I mean, we know the G&W is the website said it, but well, no, it really wasn't that high. What, 13%? I don't know, but they taste very minty to me. Tastes like mouthwash, but I would not use bourbon as mouthwash before going to work. A really bad idea. Use Listerine, and if you don't want to pay for that, buy Great Value. Okay. Boy, they sure do taste similar. Could they be coming from the same distillery? It's theoretically possible, but I would say unlikely. Reason being, the G&W says clearly Kentucky sour mash straight bourbon whiskey. The Jesse James only says American whiskey, and that is telling me that it's probably coming from different states. It's a collection of whiskeys from different states that they blend together and sell. You say, well, that's blended whiskey. Yeah, but it'd still be bourbon if it was 51% corn, you see. As long as it's at least 51% corn and all the whiskeys new charred oak barrels, it wouldn't matter if you got it from 39 states. Just follow the protocols. At least 51% corn, aged in new charred oak barrels, and to be straight whiskey, aged at least 2 years. This is aged, it's not called straight whiskey. And I know, or I don't know, but I'm assuming that's because it's from different states. It's coming from different states, which is certainly allowed. Hello, Ron, Jean-Pierre in the chat, says Mr. Mike. Hello to you, Mr. Mike. Well, they both have a very nice flavor. They're very good. They probably score in the A range. Excellent. You can laugh if you want. You could say you're crazy. No $7.99 Laird bourbon is going to be in the A range. Well, I guess you never tried these two then. If you try these two, you might change your mind if you're open-minded. So, can you buy a most excellent bourbon for $8 or less per liter? Evidence shows us, yes, you can. Well, at least you could, because I bought these in the past. I didn't buy these this week. Subject to change, as we all know, in this inflationary era, which is the blame of the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve System, I might add, mainly the U.S. government. So G&W is a winner. Jesse James, America's Outlaw whiskey, bourbon whiskey, is a winner. I would get the Jesse James because it's a penny cheaper. That's how close it is. I mean, I'm not even kidding around. Availability where I live is zilch. I've never seen these two in my town ever in my life, and I probably never will. We get the mainline stuff. Of course, we get your Jim Beams, your Jack Daniels, the Elijah Craig, Evan Williams, Old Forester, the routine. We get all of those, Wild Turkey and all of that. But as far as like strange off-the-wall bourbons, yeah, usually you're going to go more into the city to find that, not out here in the country. It's not really the country anymore. When I first moved here, my mail would come in and say Rural Route 2. Rural Route 2. If it was like an all mail out, like an insurance company would mail out to everybody, those, like you say, junk mail, it would just say Rural Route 2. So they would go around and just put it in each person's mailbox. But I don't ever get those anymore. Guess we're not rural anymore. We're suburban. Moved up. We're like kind of fancy now. We got a Chili's. Anyway, and a Sonic. Thank you. I think the one in my left hand is the G&W. Because it does seem like it's got a little bit more something to it. Complexity. And I thought that Jesse James might have been a little more simplistic. But like, I wouldn't care. Like, I would just save the penny and buy one over the other, to tell you the truth. But I think this is the G&W. It is. So that one little infinitesimal, how you say that word? That one little small thing, very small thing, that one little very small thing made the difference. So that puts me at 2 wins, 0 losses, and 1 tie. 2 wins, 0 losses, and 1 tie. Would I like to continue undefeated? Yes, I wish I could be untied, but I did have to call it a tie this morning, to be honest. I could have guessed, and I would have gotten it right, as it turned out. But no, I'm not going to play that game. So yeah, 2 wins, 0 losses, 1 tie. Good for some pretty irregular products. What's coming up? More bourbon. Shoot. Got George Dickel, Tennessee Cascade Hollow. That's always a good one. But I'm not going to get that wrong because all I got to do is look for the Flintstone vitamin flavor. Um, got the Jim Beam Black 8-year age. Yeah, I found a bottle of Black 8-year age. I got Jean Pierre. Yes, I've got the 10 High coming. Both 10 Highs. Still got 2 bottles. They're different one from the other, but they both say 10 High. There's a slight difference with the two. I've got Winn-Dixie Bourbon, Ancient Age. Oh, I think my Ancient Age is gone. Yeah, I used it all up. Still got a little bit of that Jethro T Boots from Buffalo Trace. Pretty good stuff though. So yeah, I got a good amount of bourbon coming in, and then we off to Canada. We're crossing to America's 51st state. Oh, woo! Get ready for Canadian whiskey, but that'll be at least a week from now. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.